Welcome. This is part 2 of What is the Hardest Piano Piece. If you haven't yet watched part 1, I highly suggest you do so, as I'll be referencing a lot of things from it. Not completely needed, but again, highly recommended. Link is in the description. Before we pick up where we left off, I want to review the rules we set in place last video. I didn't really mention why I put some of them there, so now is probably a good time. The first two rules about the piece being humanly possible and playable on an unmodified piano is pretty self-explanatory, but you might be confused as to why I said it cannot be in theme and variations. Well, if I allowed this topic would have little to no reasonable debate. Surabji's Symphonic Variations is second to none. Not only is it 9 hours long without any clear repeating sections, it also has no real recording of the entire piece, and it would also put me to debt if I tried to legally obtain the sheet music. I also don't allow opuses because they're technically not one single piano piece, but rather a collection of a bunch of them. Now we can actually pick up where we left off, which I believe is Gaspard de la Nuit. First things first, I chose two more pieces, both written by Liszt that some people may consider at the same level or a bit more difficult than Gaspard de la Nuit. The first of the two Liszt pieces I chose is Liszt's Réminiscences de Lucrezia Borgia. There is some debate over which is his hardest Reminiscences, but this one is definitely up there, spanning around 18 minutes. So if you've seen any difficult Liszt work before, then you'll know that the first 7 or so bars are pretty typical, with the occasional burst of notes or just audio spam. Afterwards though, difficulty rises sharply. We have scales and thirds, and other double note passages, and I went into detail why this is a pain to do last video. Obviously, one of these is never enough, and Liszt puts in multiple of these. Following this, there's just simply many difficult sections, from whatever this is, and also whatever this is. As expected from any large Liszt work, chaos eventually unfolds, and I'll just let your ears process the rest of the piece. The second Liszt work I chose is arguably Liszt's hardest work in his entire career, and it is none other than his solo piano transcription for Beethoven's Ninth. This piece spans over an hour and includes all 4 movements, including the famous Ode to Joy melody. You've probably heard it before. Since this piece is basically the entire orchestra compressed into your 2 hands, the pianist needs to think like the conductor. The main difficulty takeaway is not only the length, but also the ability to express many different instruments in just a piano. Starting with the first movement, Liszt uses many fifths and other intervals, as well as techniques such as pressing the pedal only halfway down, along with many more. This movement is slow, but as we have seen before, especially in the previous video, slow does not necessarily mean easy. The final build-up of the first movement has a lot of jumping in the left hand, finishing off with some runs. Compared to movement 1, movement 2 is much faster. With the rhythmic fourths and all the chords and double notes, Every beat has to be precise and calculated. The section is very jumpy and light, needing extreme caution. Hence, pedal is used pretty sparingly because you need to preserve the crisp and clarity of the notes. Moving on to movement 3, we enter a very calm and lyrical part, where there is rarely any part under 3 voices. Liszt does an insane job transcribing the instruments onto a single piano, and although the amount of voices is monstrous, this part still sounds absolutely incredible. At the end of the 3rd movement, Liszt uses a tremolo-like technique seen in the previous variations as well. And last but not least, the 4th movement. Unlike the previous movements, the 4th movement starts off very explosively. Not long after, we get the long-awaited Ode to Joy melody. This theme is then used for quite a while before switching to some contrasting melodies. Afterwards, we approach the final few minutes of the piece. Here, utmost precision and clarity is needed again. Many difficult runs are also put here. And with any lengthy work of this era, we have a glorious finish. Well, what do we do now? Because there's obviously more Liszt pieces to talk about, but I'm tired of that. Having exhausted the Romantic era, we have one choice: to move forwards. I mentioned earlier, we have not yet talked about the Modern era, and that's exactly where we're going. Quick warning, the following pieces don't sound good, similar to how abstract art may look strange to some people. Additionally, if you have any sheet music reading experience, prepare to be confused. I had a very hard time writing the script for the video as I had significant trouble finding the musical term of whatever this is. When people talk about modern piano music, they usually mean music written after 1920. This is after Surabji and Co. came up and concocted some of the most ethically dubious pieces you will ever see. Modern music is a quite undiscussed topic on YouTube videos, as they're all just not well known, and we all know YouTube algorithm hates lesser known pieces. My comparisons are very subjective, and if you're willing to, you're welcome to take a look at them yourself. You will probably definitely have a different opinion. Having brought up the dilemma of unconventional sheet music, I must make something clear. I read multiple Reddit posts of people saying this piece is very difficult because the sheet music looks hard and a 3-year-old probably drew this, so this piece is impossible to play. This logic isn't really valid. I'm still ranking these pieces based upon physical and mental strain, and although sheet music does contribute, it's not the largest factor. Yay, alright. Oh yeah, one more thing, some modern pieces need you to make noises from your voice or plucking strings of the piano, among other techniques, and I shall temporarily disband the rule of no other instruments as long as it's reasonable. Alright, let's finally do this. The first of the three modern pieces I wish to talk about is Silvano Busatti's Pieces for David Tudor. Busatti is very well known for his very unconventional sheet music notation, and this piece has probably the most unreadable music I could find, and in this case, it does contribute a little to the difficulty of the piece. Unfortunately, Busatti did pass away in 2021, but his music lives on. This piece blurs the lines between what sheet music and art is. It makes people reconsider actually what a piano piece is. This is exactly why it is still recognized over 60 years later. Here's some more short clips of the piece. The score is probably the most chaotic it will ever get, and has many strange symbols, lines, squiggly lines, and whatever this is. Busatti gives the performer a lot of freedom, meaning no two performances of the same piece will be the same, I guess. Allowing interpretations of the piece to be an experiment every time, an idea that was heavily disregarded in the previous eras because there was a definitive right and definitive wrong. The main difficulty doesn't come from your hands needing to jump 20 feet over the keyboard, rather, it's challenging the idea of what a note is. Next, let's move on to another notable selection, Lemma-Icon-Epigram by Brian Ferniho. The name itself suggests the structure of the piece, with lemma being the opening and theme, icon being the image-based musical selection, and epigram being the culminating and concluding section. Unlike the last piece, this work has a lot of difficulty in its technical playing and precision. Like other difficult modern pieces, this one also has a plethora of nested polyrhythms and jarring loud parts. It's very difficult to analyze these pieces effectively, so just like last piece, here's some interesting and notable parts of the work. And finally, the piece, when not including opuses or theme and variations, that I consider the hardest is written by none other than Ioannis Xenakis. This piece is called Evryali. Surprisingly hard to pronounce too, and just like any other piece on this list, I need to talk about why I put it here. Like many other modern pieces that are considered like impossible to play, Evryali cannot be played perfectly to the score. Oftentimes, the performer literally has to decide how to play the sheet music because of its inhuman difficulty. You might have to cut a note here, here, and maybe here as well. I mean, I guess the sheet music looks somewhat similar to sheet music we're used to today, but the notation is still strange, like flipped stems or other thingies. It sometimes moves from very bare lines like this to extremely dense and complicated clusters like this. Very often, people describe modern music as not music and rather as chaos. This is what art is going to turn to the future, I guess. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. If you have any ideas of what should be the hardest piece instead of this one, feel free to leave it down in the comments. Wait, I forgot something. Let me go grab it.